I want to talk about another directive that Israel has deployed on October 7th that you have written extensively about, the Hannibal Directive. You did an extensive months-long investigation that you compiled for Electronic Intifada about how Israel not only killed dozens of its own people on October 7th, they killed hundreds.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want you to talk about how you compiled this, because for me, I mean, it's just the same thing, don't believe your lying eyes. When they show us those hundreds of burned out cars and told us repeatedly Hamas did this, when in reality, it looks like the highway of death. Obviously,
Yes.
Hamas didn't have that potential.
Yes, that's a really good point. It does look like what the Americans did in Iraq in the early 90s, absolutely. All these cars that you described, Israeli sources, Israeli army sources say that there was more than 1,000 of them. All these cars that were destroyed on October 7th, there's a literal wall of cars which are completely annihilated and crushed, not only burned up but crushed and smashed, twisted. There is no way all those cars could have been destroyed by Hamas, who have AK-47 rifles, have rocket-propelled grenades. Some of them, yes, okay, you can see there's just bullet holes and maybe some smaller explosions. Possibly, you know, you can say that was done by Palestinian fighters. But the vast majority of them, and I put the video, it's a tourist, sort of pro-Israel tourist video, I put it towards the end of that article. And he's walking us through, and he's saying, the guide is an Israeli army guide, and he's saying, in this vehicle there was the remains of 18 people, the burned ashes of 18 people. And you look at the vehicle and you think, this doesn't look like it was just set on fire. It looks really, really mangled. And then the next car is completely crushed. There's no way it was an RPG that did that. You know, it's very clear these were hit from the air by Apache attack helicopters, by drones, and in fact we know for a fact from Israeli Hebrew reporting that I detail in the article that there was drones, helicopters and attack bombers as well, all in the air within minutes of the October 7th attack being launched from Gaza. And the reason for that is this, what you mentioned, what's called by Israel the Hannibal Directive. It's a military doctrine. For people who don't know, it's a military doctrine established in 1986 in secret, which allows Israeli military forces to target and kill their own soldiers in the event of their capture or likely capture by Palestinian militants or Lebanese militants. In 2009, I believe it was, an Israeli soldier called Gilad Shalit was captured by the Palestinian militant factions in the Gaza Strip, and he was held for several years while the negotiations took place. In the end, what happened was he was exchanged, a single living Israeli prisoner was exchanged for 1,024 Palestinian prisoners, including the future leader of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, who was recently killed in combat in the Gaza Strip. So, you know, Israel viewed this as a compromise too far. And so, you know, the Hannibal Directive was really ramped up. And on the 7th of October, it was unleashed. It was unleashed. They all knew what to do. And a piece in Haaretz in July confirmed that the Hannibal Directive was issued over the communications of the Gaza division on October 7th, and the word Hannibal was used specifically, and the order that was issued was not a single vehicle can return to Gaza.